Okay, I just did a whole a vlog, and I didn't record it. So I'm home from the hospital. A lot of you didn't even know I was in the hospital. I'm a very private person. I don't like to. I guess I don't like to expose my vulnerabilities to people. I've been pretty sick. It's been since my mom died, really. I just kept getting worse and worse, and I didn't know what was wrong. One point, my diabetes went out of control, and I ended up in the hospital. And then I had anemia. Uh, Normal hemoglobin is 180, and I was down at 45. Don't know what did it. I had a dog. I loved that dog very much. She was ill. We were putting her down. I wanted to wash her. I care what people think, and she was sick with cancer, and she was infested with God knows what. And I, for some reason, thought it would be a good idea to put on a bathing suit to wash her so that I wouldn't get too covered up. But that didn't work. I ended up catching a whole bunch of fungal diseases, which ultimately brought on an attack of something called bullous pemphigoid. Bullous pemphigoid is something that usually old people get. It's a it's a disease that is your own immune system attacking itself. The is nothing like anemia. I mean, it drains your energy to the point where you're almost paralyzed. You can't move. You can't eat. You can't do anything. Uh, the next time I had it, I waited until I figured it was safe to go in the hospital, and I was there for a month. I got out for 2 days. Decided I wanted to make a barbecue for my husband and his friend, just to make them feel like life was back to normal again. Because that's really what I want, is my life to be back to normal. It hasn't been normal since my dad got sick, and that's 10 years ago. I lost my dad, I lost my best friend and cousin, Natalia. I lost my best friend growing up, Mark. Um, Later on, I lost a whole bunch of other people that were in that same entourage, and I had to kind of rearrange my reality so that I could stand it, so I could handle living that way without people that I'd known all my life. And that is my life, people I've known all my life. Anyway, uh, as I was going outside to barbecue, I had thought I should get my husband to back me out with a wheelchair, which would have been bright. But no, no, because when you're in the hospital, they tell you, oh, you need to use your walker. You need to walk. Walking is very good for you. You need to use your walker. But what they also need to tell you is you need to use your judgment. And it was a bad judgment that day for me to use my walker. And I tripped over the door jamb. I broke my leg in two places. So 2 days ago, I got out of the hospital after having been in for 6 weeks with my broken leg. And I was terrified when I got out. I was terrified when I was there. I couldn't take it anymore. It's a very regimented world. And it's so underfunded. The nurses are worked way hard. And that hurts them and patient care. And the more it hurts them, the less nurses there are because they burn out. And the harder it is for the ones that remain. And I mean, I would spend half a day obsessing about what I would do the next time I had to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to trouble anyone. It was just a real pile of stress, and my blood work is coming back to normal, but when I broke my leg, they put me on Dilaudid, and when I came off Dilaudid, I was so sick. And I don't know if it was Dilaudid or if it was something else or it was the stress. But after a while, I was like, I just got to get out of here. I can transfer on one leg. I'm not allowed to stand on my other leg until the 16th. And at first, I was so scared to be home because I didn't know what to do. I had no structure. You know, I've been in this very structured environment for 6 weeks, and I realized my job now is to take care of myself. Sophie's not here anymore. She moved to Nova Scotia. She's got a boyfriend out there, and he seems to be being really good to her. And she feels like she has a chance at life. Whereas here in Quebec, she didn't. I mean, it's hard if you're a half and half, or if you're not a francophone. It's almost impossible to live here, and it's terrible because the people that made life difficult for the French Canadians that lived here weren't me. They weren't my family. My family didn't live on the hill. My family weren't lawyers or doctors or business people. They were just ordinary people trying to survive in a crazy world. And that's kind of why I'm not overly talkative. You guys all know me as an extrovert. You all think I'm totally an extrovert. And, well, that was the personality I adopted in order to survive. But in reality, my life was such that I wasn't safe at school and I wasn't safe at home. And it wasn't because my parents were bad people, but they were damaged people. We're all damaged people right now. And it's how do you mitigate that damage that's important. Anyway, one of my favorite spots I remember when I was a kid used to be sitting under the bridge in Dewoodville. Of course, everybody went under the bridge to smoke cigarettes and do things they weren't supposed to do. But I used to just go there and sit and watch the rapids and let my feet dangle in the water and maybe watch a muskrat swim back and forth. Because if you're quiet, they don't even know you're there. And it was the one place in the world where I felt safe. Where no one was going to find me. Where I could be alone with myself and with nature. And for me, nature is God. And that's the real me. The me that loves the world and loves God and wants it to get better. And it's not always like that all the time, but it could be. That bothers me. But right now, I have thought about going to Nova Scotia to move closer to my daughter, and I realized that that's not my job right now. Right now, my job is just to get better. I still have a lot of ways to go. I'm not eating properly yet. Trying. And I gotta kind of decide what I want to do with my life, because who am I? Like, when I'm not bringing up my beautiful, beautiful daughter Sophie, my beautiful wild child, who am I? And in order to live, in order to find a reason to live, I have to figure that out. And that's kind of what I'm going to do in these vlogs, and hopefully I can share some stories that cause you even to have some insight into your life. And maybe together we can figure out where the world is going and where it can go and what we can do to make it better. Anyway, that's all for now. You guys take care.